Hello and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm Cassidy. If it's not, thanks for always tuning into my video. Today's video is an exciting one. We're going through, I say exciting every single video. I know it. Every video is exciting, okay? But today we are going through all of my unread physical books. This will be a square on Snakes and TBR stacks this year. Similar, literally not similar. It is exactly the same to what Becca in the Books does with her Bookathon board. She has one spot that you can comment down below any book you see in this video. You can put multiple books in one comment, you can put one comment each for each book, you can put as many comments as you want, but each comment should have a book that is on my physical TBR that you would like me to read. And then if I land on that Snakes and TBR stacks prompt, I will randomize the comments and choose one of those books. So if you put multiple books, it's kind of nice and it gives me an option, but you don't have to. You can put literally just one book and then I have to read that book. Yeah, so that's the point of this video. We're just going to go through, I'm going to hold up each book and say, this is the book, this is the author, and then if you want me to read it, you type in the little comments down below and say, please read blank book. I hope you understand it. We're going to start with this shelf that's right behind me. From the very top shelf, we have City of Dragons by Robin Hobb, which is book 3 of the Rainwild Chronicles, and Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Then we have The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan. This is book 2 of the Wheel of Time series. I will be reading this year though for Wheel of Time Along. And then we have A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is the first book in the Magic series. I only own the first one. Then we have Rune and Wrath by John Gwynne, the third and fourth book in the Faithful and the Fallen series. A Time of Dread, A Time of Blood, and A Time of Courage by John Gwynne. These are the 3 books in the Blood of Bone series that comes after The Faithful and the Fallen by John Gwynne. The Shadow of the Gods and The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. These are the first 2 books in the Bloodsworn saga by John Gwynne, unrelated to his other series. Waking Fire by Anthony Ryan. Fireborn by Rosaria Munda. Dragon Song, Dragon Drums, and Dragon Singer by Anne McCaffrey. Of Darkness and Light by Ryan Cahill, the second book in the Bound and the Broken series. The Splinter King and the Godbreaker by Mike Brooks, the second and third books in the God King Chronicles. His Majesty's Dragons by Naomi Novik, the first book in the Temeraire series. The Coward by Stefan Arion. This is a duology. I don't know what it's called. The Girl in the Mountain by Mark Lawrence. This is the second book in the Book of the Ice series, which comes after the Book of the Ancestor series. The Ranger of Marzana by John Scovrin. The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding. The Wolf of Aran by K.S. Veloso. I don't know if I said that right. Winter of Ice and Iron by Rachel Numir. The Winter Road by Adrian Selby. The Song of All by Tina LeCount Myers. The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. Witch Sign by Den Patrick. Daughter of the Empire by Raymond E. Feist and Janny Wirtz. Empress of the Fall and Prince of the Spear by David Hare. Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan. The Raven Tower by Anne Leckie. A Crown for Cold Silver by Alex Marshall. The Obsidian Tower by Melissa Caruso. Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. We Ride the Storm by Devin Madsen. A Shadow in the Ember and a Light in the Flame by Jennifer L. Armentrout. A Shadow in the Summer by Daniel Abraham. The Grey Bastards by Jonathan French. Ship of Smoke and Steel and City of Stone and Silence by Django Wexler. These are the first 2 books in the Wells of Sorcery series. The Thousand Names by Django Wexler. I do also own the second book and you'll see it later in this video. Nevernight, God's Grave, and Dark Dawn by J. Kristoff. The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik. The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. The Pariah and the Martyr by Anthony Ryan. Spine of the Dragon by Kevin J. Anderson. Soul Keeper by David Douglas. The Emperor's Blade by Brian Stavley. Upon a Burning Throne by Ashok K. Banker. The Bladed Faith by David Douglas. Words of Radiance and Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. The House of Always and the Discord of Gods by Jen Lyons. The 4th and 5th book of the Runa King series. The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. Engines of Empire by R.S. Ford. Shadow Black by Sebastian de Castell. Age of Assassins and King of Assassins by R.J. Barker. Fury Born by Claire Legrand. Saint's Blood and Tyrant's Throne by Sebastian de Castell. City of Lies by Sam Hawke. Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee. The Black Jewel Trilogy by Anne Bishop. This is a bind-up of all 3. Wings of Fire, which is a short story collection by a lot of authors. Finley Donovan is Killing It by L. Cosimano. Cytonic by Brandon Sanderson. Legacy of Steel and Legacy of Light by Matthew Ward. Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin. Shaman's Crossing by Robin Hobb. Shadowless by Randall McNally, which should technically be in my indie shelf Dies the Fire by S.M. Sterling, Inda by Sherwood Smith, The Shadow Throne by Django Wexler, which is book 2 of the Shadow Campaigns. You saw book 1 earlier, Dragon Quest, and The White Dragon by Anne McCaffrey. These are the second and third books in the Pern series. They're what I need to get to first before that other series you saw earlier. Age of Myth by Michael J. Sullivan, Interview with Vampire by Anne Rice, Furies of Calderon by Jim Butcher, Next Level Basic by Stassi Schroeder, Mistress of Dragons by Margaret Y, Legends 2, another short story collection, Horror Short Stories by multiple authors. Now we're on to the indie shelf. I did leave out indie books that I have required reading elsewhere, so like the Indie Archives Mine and Mel's book club for our top tier patrons. We're going to be reading 6 indies this year. I left those out. We have The Swordsman's Intent and The Swordsman's Descent by G.M. White, The Legend of Blackjack by A.R. Witham, The Flight of the Dark Star Dragon by Benedict Patrick, Cold from the North by D.W. Ross, Legends and Lattes by Travis Beldry, Ascendant by Michael R. Miller, Army of the Cursed by Karim Solomon, Blood of the Spear by Mark Timoney, Never Die by Rob J. Hayes, Scalagrim by Stephen R. Babb, Burn Red Skies by Kirsten Espinozo Rosero, The Blood of Outcast by D.A. Smith, and The Cradle by Ron Sammy. Now we're moving on to sci-fi and horror shelves. My smallest, I think they're my smallest shelves, but I actually could be wrong. Foundation by Isaac Asimov, Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, Beacon 23 by Hugh Howey, Leech by Haron Ene, I'm definitely saying that wrong, I'm so sorry, Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey, Rabbits by Terry Miles, Dune by Frank Herbert, The Time Patrol by Poole Anderson, To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers, Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky, which probably should be removed from this list because I've DNF'd it twice, but I keep thinking third time's the charm. Velocity Weapon by Megan K. O'Keefe. Thank you, William. This actually just came about half an hour before I started filming this video, so thank you for this gift. The Girl Who Could Move Shit With Her Mind by Jackson Ford, and The Doors of Eden by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Now on to spooky books, so horror and thriller. The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson, Whisper Down the Lane by Clay McLeod Chapman, Fantastic Land by Mike Bockoven, The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher, Soon by Lois Murphy, A Fig for All the Devils by C.S. Fritz, The End of Her by Sherry Lapina, The Loop by Jeremy Robert Johnson, The Nesting by C.J. Cook, Replica by Lauren Oliver, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, probably doesn't belong here, but it is where it is, A Quarter to Midnight, Small Horrors by Darcy Coates, which are short story collections, and then Parasite by Darcy Coates, which is a sci-fi horror, The Snow by Felix Blackwell, The Ghost Tree by Christina Henry, Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell, and last but certainly not least, Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. I think that's it. I think that's all of the physical TBR books I own. So books I own physically that are unread still. I actually already kind of know the number. I do have a spreadsheet for my TBR. The only difference is that that one does include ebooks and audiobooks. I know roughly what the number should be, but I do have the proper number for you on the screen. I'm okay with the number I'm at currently. I actually really like to have a lot of unread books. I tend to actually get rid of a lot of books once I've read them, just because I always want space for more unread books. I like to have like a giant library essentially of books that I can pick up and read. I'm less of a collector, I feel like, and more of just like I want them to read them. Let me know down below. Make sure to put your comments in for the books you want to see me read. Remember, you can put one book in one comment. You can put 3 books in one comment. You can put 10 books in one comment. You can put as many comments as you want. Anything like that. Just let me know what books you would be interested in seeing me read. That's all. That's all I have to say to you. I think by the time you're seeing this, it should be New Year's. So happy New Year's. Enjoy the next year. I'm very excited for what 2023 brings us. And take care of yourself. If you'd like to connect with me on other platforms, my Bookstagram, my Book Twitter, my Goodreads, and my Patreon, all linked in the description bar below. Have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day and year.